Greetings, Mavericks and new viewers. Tonight, direct and live from the Maverick News Network World Studios. This is Maverick News with Rick Walker.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back, Maverick family. And if you're tuning in for the first time, dialing in, digitizing in, welcome, wherever you may be in the world. We are going to talk about the world. We're going to talk about a changing world. We're going to talk about immigration. People moving from one place to another. Most of them moving into the West, Western countries, the United States, Canada. We'll go to the phones. We'll give you guys a chance to add your voice to this conversation. We will start with some facts tonight, some statistics, and we'll review some of what has been going on in Springfield, Ohio, where the immigration issue has become, well, the community has become a focal point for the whole immigration issue, hasn't it? Because of the comments made during the U.S. presidential debate, with Trump saying that Haitian immigrants are eating dogs and cats and geese. We'll show you tonight that some of that appears to be true. Some of it appears to be fake. It will show you how far some people have gone to make fake things look real. And then we'll kind of leave it up to you. I guess we're going to go back this week, too, to show you some of what transpired in Springfield, Ohio, so that we get, how can I put this, real people sharing real information in a real forum where we can be very confident that the information being conveyed is genuine. At least genuine in the sense that the people presenting it believe it to be true from their personal experience in that community. Because we'll take you right inside their city hall, where people are taking their concerns directly to their community leaders. And we'll show you what they've had to say over the past week. So we have that. We can also get into some of the other top stories of the day if we have time. But this issue is huge in Canada. It's huge in the United States. It remains at the top of the news cycle. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just doing my job. I know that some people yesterday said they weren't going to watch the program because we were still talking about this. But tonight it is still the leading story, I would say, in Canada and the United States, especially in the United States, where concerns about immigration are still front and center. So stay with me. Get ready to dial in or punch in or however you connect in this new digital age. Just get ready because we're in for, I think, an eye-opening program. I'll be right back.
He's a fighter. He's a survivor. President Trump, defiant, strong. He is determined to make America great again. Pay tribute to the 45th President of the United States with this collectible t-shirt from the Maverick News Memorable Moments collection. Even a would-be assassin's bullet could not stop him. Instead, he emerged with his fist in the air ready to fight. For freedom. Get your Trump Fighting for Freedom t-shirt with any donation of $30 or more to Maverick News. There are two iconic artistic designs to choose from. But there is only one way to get these. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Support free speech. Free media. Support Maverick News. Call 1-866-248-1490 or order online at supergeeks.tv.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the Founding Fathers. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on Earth.
The entire world is watching.
Every dictator, every crazy dictator in the world is watching. The world is watching. On TV,
the entire world is watching.
On social media.
But the entire world is watching, and yes, they are seeing what we have apparently bravely been willing to say that others are thinking.
Stand for freedom. Literally stand for freedom. Let's get this done. The entire world is watching.
We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars.
Maverick News. Maverick News. Maverick News.
Let me have more control of my own destiny.
The world is watching.
Okay, so as I said, this story about immigration still dominating headlines, especially the story out of Springfield, Ohio, where people are still talking. Well, people there aren't just talking about it. People everywhere are talking about Donald Trump, Kamala Harris squaring off in a debate, and Trump talking about migrants, Haitian migrants, eating dogs and cats. I can't believe we're still talking about this. So, and here it is tonight. So, in Springfield, the mayor of the town is saying that there's still more threats, I guess, going on. I've lost my cue here. Yeah, he says a new round of bomb threats have targeted 3 medical facilities and an unspecified 4th facility in Springfield, Ohio. This information coming to light today. And now those facilities, I guess, have been checked out. Some have already reopened. Springfield Regional Medical Center, Ohio Valley Surgical Hospital, and Kettering Health Springfield were all targeted in this. Springfield Police say they have beefed up their staffing. They're trying to deal with these threats that have emerged after all this talk about the dog and cat eating involving Haitian immigrants. Also this week, I guess 2 schools where students there were evacuated, an elementary school, 2 elementary schools, and a middle school was closed yesterday. This because of a threat that was sent in by email. And we just don't know. It's not clear if the person who sent the threat in on Friday is the same person who may have sent in Thursday's threat. And the mayor has said he's had it up to the eyeballs, I guess, with all of this stuff. So he came out with a statement that says quote, "This is a very concerning time for our citizens, and frankly, a lot of people are tired of just, the things that have been spread about our community that are just negative and not true. We need help, not hate." Now, we'll see about that. We're going to show you some clips from this week that I've sort of been able to compile that might paint a little bit of a different picture. I think a clearer picture, a fairer picture than maybe what you're getting. I don't know if it'll help or not, but it'll help. Any information that is worth looking at is helpful, I think. And so this brings us back full circle to what Trump was saying in the debate. Springfield officials there estimate that around 12,000 to 15,000 immigrants they have now living in the county. And they say migrants have been drawn to the region because of the low cost of living there and because there are job opportunities. And of course, the sudden increase in population plus the fact that they're from a different country, they speak a different language, it has resulted in a real culture shock. And then you add in these stories about the pets being abducted and eaten and so on, and people start to get pretty jacked up. So we'll try to clarify what's going on here tonight. Now, before we get into too much of that, I did do a little bit of research, and I have some information on the most recent immigration statistics for the United States based on the information that is available up to today. So, the foreign-born population in the U.S. reached approximately 46.1 million in 2022. Now, that accounts for about 13.8% of the total U.S. population. And that figure represents a record high, showcasing an increase from previous years. So, in 2022, nearly 2.6 million people legally immigrated to the U.S., which was a significant rebound after a decline due to the global health situation in 2020. This number was just below the recent peak of 2.7 million in 2018. 2016. The number of unauthorized immigrants in the U.S. showed growth in 2022, reaching 11 million, marking the first sustained increase since 2007. Mexicans continue to be the largest group of immigrants, though their share has decreased from 29% in 2010 to 23% in 2022. There's been a notable increase in immigrants from Asia and other parts of Latin America. There were about 3.2 million encounters at the U.S. borders in 2023, which includes both apprehensions and turnaways, marking the highest since at least 1980. Programs like humanitarian parole for individuals from countries like Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela, along with temporary protected status for Venezuelans, have contributed to legal entries, with significant numbers reported by the end of 2023. California, Texas, Florida, and New York remain the states with the highest immigrant populations, with California alone hosting over 10 million immigrants. And we know that a lot of people who have been living there have been leaving. Recent immigration has had noticeable effects on the labor market, with new immigrants potentially contributing to changes in labor market tightness, as indicated by increased immigration court cases correlating with higher vacancy unemployment ratios. There's a mix of public sentiment, of course, reflected on social media, with some users, social media influencers, and just the general public expressing concerns over the scale of immigration, while others are out there trying to stick to facts, preventing statistics, or, we're seeing a variety of arguments on both sides. So this is obviously a rocky period in U.S. history. It is an issue. Immigration is an issue that is paramount in this U.S. federal election, and it will be as well, presidential election, and it will be as well in the Canadian federal election, which is just around the corner. It's not clear exactly when, because the system here works just a little bit differently, because we're a parliamentary democracy, not a republic like the United States. We don't have a president. The prime minister does not have as much power as the president, but that's another thing for another day. So in Canada, immigration, big issue here too. So I have some stats here too. For Kanakistan, Canada's population surpassed 41 million people in the first quarter of this year. That's a first. That is a huge milestone. And you know, the population growth is unprecedented. I was still stuck at the 30 million mark in my head. So we reached 41,012,563 on April 1st of this year. This growth was largely driven by international migration, with nearly all of the population increase, 99.3%, attributed to both permanent and temporary immigration. For the years 2024 to 2026, Canada's immigration plan targets 485,000 new permanent residents in 2024, increasing to 500,000 in 2025 and stabilizing at 500,000 in 2026. I can tell you that those are sort of government numbers, but as the year, we've seen, I think, over the past year, in real numbers, substantially more than that. So this federal government plan focuses on economic migrants, family reunification, and humanitarian considerations, according to government information, with economic migrants being the largest category. In 2024, Canada projected to welcome 281,135 economic migrants, with an increase to 301,250 annually in 2025 and 2026. This category for the government, they say it's pivotal for addressing labor market needs, particularly in sectors facing shortages due to an aging population. We're not having enough babies, apparently. After years of being told we shouldn't have kids, encouraged to use birth control, having families, the traditional family, sort of, I would say, poo-pooed and discouraged. Now we don't have enough people to maintain the country. So immigration is the answer, apparently. We were also told it was bad for the environment to have kids, if you recall. Anyway, the plan by the federal government in Canada includes 84,000 spots for spouses, partners, and children of Canadian citizens and permanent residents each year, and 34,000 for parents and grandparents. However, there's a slight decrease in the number of refugees and protected persons from 76,000 in 2024 to 72,750 in subsequent years, alongside a reduction in admissions under humanitarian and compassionate grounds. So we have temporary residents, we have the number of non-permanent residents in Canada reaching a record high, with an increase in the 9th consecutive quarter, standing at 2,793,594 as of April 1st of this year. This includes temporary foreign workers, international students, and others. So immigration has significantly impacted population growth across provinces in Canada, with notable increases in traditionally less popular immigration destinations like the Maritimes, indicating a broader distribution of newcomers across Canada, but I would say the vast majority still end up in Toronto, it's changing the country. in profound ways. No question about it. We have a housing shortage. It's putting strain on our social services. Even new Canadians are complaining about more new Canadians coming into the country because of the stress that it is putting on our housing market, our hospitals, our education system, our social welfare systems in general, economic support systems, economic safety nets, the jobs market. It is true, though, I think, that some employers, in particular in, say, the agricultural sector, farmers have trouble finding people to work, so they have to bring in workers from other countries to do the work that Canadians don't want to do or won't do, because why? It's easier to sit at home on unemployment or welfare than it is to go work all day out in the fields for pay that is minimum wage, sometimes maybe less in real terms. And some social activists out there trying to address those issues, but that's a whole other thing. What we're seeing down there in Springfield, Ohio, though, is a powder keg. It's a fuse in a way that's being lit that I think is ready to blow up or explode within the country. We've seen that. Now, also, so this brings us again back to the debate. The debate where it all started with Donald Trump making reference to the dogs and cats being eaten, and over, some of the mainstream media trying to put a happy face on this. Here's NBC, their website tonight, trying to make lemonade out of a great big fat sour lemon. For Haitians, disparaging tropes are an opportunity to share the beauty of our country and people. Trying to put a positive spin on things. I get it. Subheading here, the things that Trump says and all that is going on around Ohio that speaks to his character, not ours, says one Haitian American child of immigrants. And of course, here's, let me just run a little bit of what they've got on their main page.
This morning, a stunning moment from the debate stage going viral.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats.
Former President Trump spreading unfounded claims that members of the growing Haitian population in Springfield, Ohio, are eating animals. City officials say there's no evidence of that. Mr. Trump's baseless allegations setting off a social media firestorm.
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats.
Overnight, Ohio's Republican governor saying there's no evidence of the claims.
This is something that came up on the internet, and the internet can be quite crazy sometimes.
Haitian immigrants here shocked and hurt. This man, too frightened to show his face or use his name, says co-workers at his construction job have repeatedly asked him if he eats cats. Viles Dorseville, who runs a community center for Haitians, says many fled violence at home.
I got a friend calling me asking me if he has to leave because he's scared for his life.
On Monday, Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, claimed on social media that there were reports of pets being abducted and eaten here, doubling down after the debate.
What do you say to Haitian Americans and Haitian immigrants who say spreading false claims about them put their lives at risk?
Well, I don't think that no one has spread false claims. What they've said, that small migrant community has caused a lot of problems.
Bill Monaghan helps manage a local Facebook group called Stop the Influx into Springfield, Ohio, and says he believes some of the baseless claims are credible.
It's going to continue to turn basically from an American community to a Haitian community.
Tensions have been high here since 11-year-old Aiden Clark was killed in a school bus crash last year. In May, a jury found a Haitian immigrant guilty of vehicular homicide. But Aiden's parents are urging people to stop using their son's death to spread hate.
Did you know that one of the worst feelings in the world is to not be able to protect your child? Even worse, we can't even protect his memory when he's gone. Please stop the hate.
The pet rumors seemingly got started with an unrelated case in a separate part of Ohio, where a U.S. citizen was arrested over a gruesome incident with a cat. Craig?
Yamiche Alcindor for us
Yeah,
there
so-
in Ohio. Yamiche, thank you.
Let me just pull that down. So, okay, that was a report from earlier in the week. The headline there, current today. Let me show you the video that sort of started it all. That reporter telling us that this isn't even from Springfield, Ohio. It is in Ohio, but from a different part of Ohio. And this is really the whole thing that kicked all this off, as far as I can tell. I think the issue about immigration, of course, has been of concern for longer. But when this video hit social media, the whole dog and cat thing started to get traction. Then Trump mentions it in the debate, and then it explodes and goes viral, not just online, but just everywhere. It's like the virus that left the internet and social media and has invaded the United States and the world.
You said she killed two kids.
Stand up. Put your hands behind your back. Someone got rubber gloves. She's covered in blood. All right, you got gloves. You got rubber gloves. So you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney if you can't afford one. Won't be appointed to you at state's expense. You have a right to have that attorney present during any questioning. You have a right to stop answering any questions once they begin. Do you understand your rights? Do you understand? Smile for me. Smile with you. Go like this. Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it? No? Why'd you kill it? Get in there. It's ridiculous.
She gave her kids to somebody. You know what I mean? She's trying to get herself right mentally.
So she doesn't have her kids because she was telling people she killed them.
No, she never killed her kids. Her kids were with a family member. She sent them to somebody to try to get herself together.
Mhm.
That person she sent them with was fucking beat her.
Mhm.
They went somewhere else.
Okay.
So,
I don't know yet. Judy said they would and they'll hold the cat as evidence. She destroyed that cat. This is fucked. I told him, I don't like him anymore. As long as she had cat hair on her mouth. As long as I've been a policeman, I've never had a call where someone was eating a cat.
I hope it's not set the mood for Friday night.
I don't know. There's something about that video. Still doesn't seem right to me. I just don't know. There's something that just doesn't seem right about it. I've never seen police body cam footage quite like that, but you know, some of the stuff that comes out of the US has a different tone than what we see up here in Canada. Maybe that's what it is, but there's just something that's off about it. And that's a longer version. I don't know, maybe you guys can help me. What is it about that video that that puts my antenna up, my news radar? I don't know. I just don't know. So that's kind of some background. And then today there's this. Now this story coming out saying that a woman who sort of posted online one of the original posts about a cat being kidnapped by Haitians, says that took the post down apparently because she says she regrets putting it up because it has started all kinds of rumors and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to run this clip so that you can understand where this is coming from. Again, I think this is Is this an NBC National or is it a regional reporter? This is MSNBC, I think, actually. So let me run this for you. So this, again, another mainstream media report saying that this is, it's nothing to see here. On the other hand, I just ran you that clip, which suggests there might be. Gonna have to cut through this and cut deep to try and find truth here, I think.
NBC News has now spoken to a woman. Her name is Erica Lee, and she's the woman behind one of those viral posts claiming that her neighbor's cat was kidnapped and saying that it may have been at the hands of Haitian neighbors. She tells us at NBC News she has now deleted the post, that it was wrong, that she misinterpreted a neighbor's story. She just texted me, quote, "I messed up royally," and she said she never meant to cause so much hate against this one group of people. So, Alex, again, the frustration here mounting, the chaos mounting, and we're just kind of here on the ground seeing where this goes from here.
It is so disturbing that people are making bomb threats against schools, against a hospital on a Saturday morning. It's just nuts. But let me ask you quickly with regard to the Haitian immigrants. Yeah, 100%. The Haitian immigrants, are they fearful at all for retribution, for people coming at them for these falsehoods?
Oh, of course they are. Of course they are. We had our team here earlier this week, and they told us point blank they fear for their lives. And we should note a lot of them don't want to go on camera. We've had really one kind of representative of the community speak to us about that point. That's why you haven't seen a lot of people speaking out, because they are fearful. One family telling a local paper that they woke up one morning to a window broken and acid thrown on their car. So make no mistake about it. They are fearful. They say the violence is real. And a lot of them are afraid to speak out. So we're hearing those stories as best we can as this all plays out.
And again, a lot of these Haitian immigrants have come and they're doing factory working jobs that weren't able to be filled. They did not have the labor pool to draw to fill those jobs. So that's what they're doing there, folks.
I find those arguments difficult to understand or buy. Short of social programs paying people to stay home, which creates a shortage of labor, but to say that we don't have enough people to fill jobs, you have a country of, how many hundreds of millions of people? Well over 300 million in the States. You can't find people to fill jobs? I see a lot of unemployed people. Same thing up here in Canada, where we now have 41 million. But anyway, I seems to me if you create the right economic conditions, you'd be able to fill the jobs. But it has to be beneficial to both the employer and the employee. That's an economic issue that needs to be addressed. But what we're dealing with here is a social issue, and issues of prejudice. Like, what is it with the bomb threats against schools and hospitals? What does that solve? What is the point of that? I don't get it. Maybe, you know what I should do? Let's call. Is Joseph watching tonight? Probably not. Let me see if we can find Joseph. Right there. Let's call him up. Joseph Leonard in Detroit. He's been looking, into this for us this week. Yeah, he's maybe not going to pick up.
Hello?
Joseph, it's Rick.
Hey, I thought it was you. I didn't think it could be another 519 area code calling me. Nobody over there these days would know my number but you.
And little old me from up here in Kanakistan. Listen, you're live on the air, so just be careful what you say. No cussing, no swearing, no. I'm talking about this immigration thing again tonight. And we're seeing the mayor of Springfield, Ohio, say that, they're still having bomb threat issues and things like that. I just wanted to come back and touch base with you again a little bit, because I'm also going to run some clips tonight from some people who went to the city hall in Springfield to express their concerns on both sides of the issue this week. So I'm going to run some of that. But where are you at with all of with this story tonight? Are we still in denial mode by some people? Like, are you still of the mind, after all the research you did this week, that it is a real thing, that it is happening on at least some level in that community, the dog and cat eating thing?
Yes. Again, I've written a couple of different articles on the Forge News on it now. And, with the bomb threats, who has to gain for that? The left wants this story silent because, again, like I said to you the other day, let's just, for sake of argument, completely dismiss the whole eating thing, which I think they'll, if it's happening, and I believe it has happened at least a couple times, we're not talking big numbers. All right, so let's dismiss that, forget that. We know dogs and cats are definitely being slaughtered, whether they're being eaten or not, or just voodoo sacrificial ceremonies, who knows? All right, because one guy today, Newsmax had it on, one of the witnesses, and that's part of this issue, is they're running with, a witness is coming out and saying that they regret they were the start of the rumor. Well,
right.
That's one witness. One. That's a canard. Are they paid off? Are they being threatened? There's bomb threats, so obviously people's lives are probably being directly threatened. So they threaten somebody to come out and say, "Oh, I made it all up." Well, what about the other witnesses? It wasn't one witness that said these things happened. It is multiple witnesses. So again, but let's throw that out. Okay, just throw it out. If you don't care about cats and dogs, throw it out. Because the bottom line is that 20,000 Haitians, illegals, were placed into that town of 60,000. And it is overrun and overwhelmed, and most of those 20,000 are living out on the streets around there, causing all kinds of other chaos. But the bottom line, why the left wants this to go away, or the people to solely focus on the cat-dog thing, because, truth can be stranger than fiction, but if you peddle it, it's a conspiracy. It's made up, right? It sounds phony. It does. It sounds phony, but truth is stranger than fiction sometimes. And, if I were to make something up, that sure as heck wouldn't have been it. But the bottom line is they want deflection away from that town because it highlights the illegal situation in a nutshell. If you dismiss the whole pet thing, they're overrun, they can't keep up, the town is being destroyed, and, of course, other illegals, a lot of other places. What about the U.S. citizens like Lincoln Riley and the others? Take Steinley years ago, murdered by illegals who should not be here. The bottom line of the story, if you don't want to believe the cat-dog thing, okay, fine, throw it out. They don't belong here, and they're causing problems coming through the front door.
There is a report tonight about this sign about not eating the ducks or not abducting the ducks or something. And it was put up in a park in Springfield, Ohio. And I'm pretty sure that I bit on that and put it up as a screenshot on our program the one night through the week this week briefly. I don't know. Did you? But it apparently is turning out to be fake. Did you see that sign in the park? Did you see the post about that on social media? Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
No, I'm not familiar with that particular aspect of this story.
Yeah, because they just, I want to share this with our viewers. I don't think you'll be able to hear it, but I'll just pause for a moment here with me. I'm going to run this clip. This is actually from Rebel News today. David Menzies went down to Springfield, Ohio. He has been interviewing people, doing what we're doing in a way, trying to determine how much validity there is to these stories of the dogs and cats being abducted and eaten, and also the geese, I guess is what it is. Anyway, he's there in this clip that I'm about to run, showing a park official, a municipal employee, taking this sign down saying, don't eat the ducks, or don't steal the ducks or something. Hang on just a sec. Let me run this. I'll tell you when the clip is over with, and then I'll tell you exactly what he says, so that I can share that with you and we can get your reaction to it, because you've been researching this through the week. Hang on, here we go.
Well, folks, this story just seems to get more surreal by the hour. This friendly parks worker double-checked about the validity of this sign that reads, "Please do not eat the ducks." And lo and behold, it's a fake. It wasn't approved, and he is being instructed to take it down. He's got his tools. He's doing just that. I would argue, I don't think it's an offensive message. I don't think anyone should be eating the ducks in a public park, but I guess there's protocols to go through in terms of approving signage and whatnot. So what we thought was a sensational story of the city indirectly acknowledging there is a duck problem and a goose problem here at Snyder Park. That is not the case. And, you know, it says something.
Okay, so what he's saying is that there is this sign up that says, "Do not eat the ducks." And it was put up on a post with another sign in this park in Springfield, Ohio. I'm pretty sure we showed it because it looks entirely authentic. I may not have. I don't recall for sure, but I might have bitten on it. Turns out that somebody went to put in a little extra effort, maybe a lot of extra effort, to create a sign that looked, official, put it up with this other sign in this public park saying, "Don't eat the ducks." And in reality, the city had nothing to do with it. It was entirely fake. So that's what David Menzies is reporting, while the municipal employee is taking the sign down. Isn't that weird?
No, I wouldn't think it weird, because again, my whole point is there's a whole lot of people, including the city leaders, who just want this to go away. And anything they can do to make it look like a completely illegitimate story, they will do. They will try to poo-poo it out.
But isn't it weird that someone, like, I think that it's true, and David Menzies from Rebel News is reporting this after speaking to public officials, that this sign is fake. Isn't it weird that someone would go to those lengths to create a sign to back up the other side of the story?
Well, is it or is it not fake? Are they just changing the tune? The problem is here again, there's a lot of people, for a lot of reasons in their own agenda, that want to completely poo-poo it all.
I think that I think David's he's a conservative kind of reporter from a conservative outlet. down there because he sees the importance of the story, and so does the organization. Rebel News as an organization, I guess. I mean, there's credibility in his reporting. So are you saying that the city officials might be lying about that?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know who to. I'm not questioning Rebel News in this.
Yeah.
I'm questioning individual officials for whatever agenda or another. Again,
But they can't lie about something like that, Joseph, because there would be a public record of that being approved, the sign being approved.
So, yeah, unless, I mean, you're kind of forcing me to go down the conspiracy road.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
There should be
I just
a
think it's
public
weird.
record, so was it destroyed, right?
The whole thing is weird, and I hate using that word because the Democrats are using that for the Harris campaign. I don't want to make it sound like I'm, latching on to that, but it is. It's just a very strange story. I think that's just downright strange that someone would make a sign, go to those lengths, and then put it up. But the story has become so huge, and I guess some people are so invested in it that I guess some people would go to those lengths.
Maybe, who knows, right? A Democrat could have put it there to try to further, because again, the left wants us talking about the cats, the dogs, the ducks, and you Canadians should be upset because Canadian geese are involved. But you said about the debate.
I don't know. I think
seems too weird. They had that ready, and they did, because an ABC whistleblower came out and leaked the fact that indeed Harris was, like Donna Brazil did Hillary Clinton in the CNN debate, they shared the questions with the Harris campaign, and the Harris campaign shared the pre-rehearsed answers back, and they were hoping and praying that indeed Trump would take debate on the immigration thing and bring that up. Remember, you said it seems so weird to you that they reached out to the city manager. It's because it was a setup all along.
I don't know. Then we're seeing what else is. Here's the other thing. Now here's the other thing going on here tonight. And this is obviously a post from someone on the left. Here's what this is. The caption on this post I'm about to show says, Trump's racist Proud Boys are now marching in Springfield, Ohio. Just like January 6th, Donald Trump's mouth causes more harm than good. Let me show you the clip. And I do see that, this issue has generated a lot of activity on the far right side, if you want to call it that. And I mean, when I say far right, I mean the extremist, white supremacist, neo-Nazi types. But anyway, this I just read you the caption. Assess this one for whatever you want to. Here it is. So are these the Proud Boys? That's what the caption says. I don't know. Is there something identifying them as such?
Well,
they say that the Proud Boys. I don't. In the clip, I can't tell who they are. I see that they've got the "Don't Tread on Me" signs, the American flags. There's a black flag there with what is that one? Black. It's a black flag with. I'm not familiar with it. It's. I wish you could see it. Maybe someone could tell me what that symbol is. It's on the backs of these guys wearing these vests, as well. I don't know what that's a sign for.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with what you're referring to, but two things on that. One, Nazi ideology is a leftist philosophy. It is a big government, all government, dictatorial, top-down governance. It's not right-wing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with the kind of graph that you're looking at. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it's on the left.
But do they mix and mingle at times? Possibly, because the neo-Nazis could see the anarchists as useful, and the anarchists might see the neo-Nazis as useful at some times. But the Proud Boys was founded by a black man who is currently, of course, a political prisoner, locked up without official charges, no trial date, so they keep him quiet. The Proud Boys is not a white supremacist organization, again, founded by a black man. Inconvenient facts the left leave out for their false narratives.
Yeah, we've also seen other posts suggesting that there were other neo-Nazi groups marching through Springfield. I didn't see video of that, but I did see social media posts saying that happened because of the immigration issue. I certainly see that people are upset about it, and I can see that, I can see why and how it has increased, racist or bigoted emotions in people. It makes that stuff bubble to the surface when you have, huge culture shock, an identifiable group that can be pointed at and blamed. I get it. It's a problem.
Yeah.
It's definitely a problem.
Well, when you called and said it was going to go on air, I paused Newsmax. It's on my TV. And it just so happens Bernie Moreno, the Ohio Republican U.S. Senate candidate, was on talking. And I agree exactly with what he was starting to say, and it's frozen on the bottom of my screen in pause mode. Cat meaning to get your attention. It is pathetic that it took this true, false, otherwise, whatever, partially true, completely true, partially false, completely false. What is absolutely true, he says, ripping the media coverage of the migrant crisis. Because again, the left want to play up the cat-dog thing and dismiss it as conspiracy, like the Hunter Biden laptop, like any number of things. Oh, it's just conspiracy nuttiness. And then months later, year later, the truth actually comes out, and it's too late. It's a ploy. It's a play. They want us focused on the cat-dog duck geese thing, as opposed to 20,000 illegal Haitians in a town of 60,000, causing problems. All kinds of U.S. citizens been killed by illegals who would be alive today if they had been deported. And in some cases, like with Kate Steinle years ago, the guy had been deported 5 times. But California and San Francisco, being sanctuary city and state, he came across a 6th time. He got a gun. He killed Kate Steinle. He shouldn't have been here any of those times. But because the left is weak on crime, and even more so weak on illegal immigration, Americans are dying. And that is the point Bernie Moreno is making, and I agree with. We need to stop the cat-dog thing. The bottom line is humans. Do you care about humans? Humans are being killed by people who should not be here. Period. Full stop.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you can think of that might help us in our discussion tonight, Joseph, before I sign off with you?
No, not really. I think that sums it up, because again, I think really, reiterating, that bottom line is if we continue to let them distract and deflect and make these questions of, was the sign real? Was the sign not real? It puts it into the conspiracy realm, and so that They want you to then dismiss the whole story, including the whole part that drills down to 20,000 Haitians don't belong here, whether they're eating cats and dogs or not, and whether they're going to kill a human or not. It relates to the whole open border issue that the left wants buried because illegals are killing Americans. That is the real story. That is what they want silenced. So any conspiracy thing they can dream up, they will use as deflection.
So your view then is that the Democrats have sort of found a way to finesse this issue into a condensed version by looking at Springfield, Ohio, and in the minds of the public, polarizing the issue, getting people to decide where they stand on this issue, on this simple question. If they can, are immigrants eating people's pets? And if you believe, if they can make people believe that Donald Trump is nuts because he thinks that immigrants are eating people's pets, and they can paint that in such a way that it just makes him look, anybody that thinks that is just crazy, then the whole immigration issue becomes sort of, it just encapsulates the immigration issue into that, so that it's sort of a psychological thing where it's like, you know, you go ahead.
It is a political psyop. It is a deflection, a distraction. And again, just like they said with the Hunter Biden laptop, you must be crazy. You're a loon. You're a conspiracy nut. It's not real. Or you're a Russian agent, because it's all just Russian disinformation. And of course, the Hunter Biden laptop has been used in evidence in the criminal trials against him. It was real all along, but if they can convince people that it's fake, it's fraud, all those people are loons. Don't look at it. Don't pay attention to it. But that's really psychological reverse psychology. They want you to look at that. Focus on the cat dog eating thing and forget about all the humans being killed by all these illegals who shouldn't be here in the first place.
Okay, well,
It is political psyop theater.
well, it's a Democrat political psyop, not a Russian psyop. But before you go, I'm going to play this. I think that we do have, whenever this kind of stuff comes up, this very strange stuff, we see all kinds of social media posts go out, and I think a lot of them are fabricated, possibly by, well, I don't think possibly, I know, based on a lot of information that we've been able to uncover over here, that some of this stuff is ginned up by foreign governments in order to sow chaos within our country and our system.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They want to play to both sides against the other side.
Yes.
In order to sow chaos. And I'm glad you said it that way, because I saw the God's Not Dead, In God We Trust Fish in the series movie the other day. It doesn't have to be foreign government. Part of the plot, you know, minor spoiler alert here, is you do Oppo research on your other side, right? And you want to put out the dirt on the other side. Well, guess what? A side can make up their own false dirt, and like happens in the movie, it gets leaked, and then they claim that side put out false information. It's demonstrably false. Well, it was the campaign that purposely put together false information, handed it to the other side in hopes it would be leaked, so they could say, look, they're making stuff up.
These days, what I see going on is, you get a story like this one circulating, and then then I'm going to show you this post. Again, you probably can't see this, so I'll explain it after I run it. But before I believe that this video I'm about to show you is authentic, genuine, and being presented in a sincere, good faith manner, I need more information about this woman because I'm just not buying this. Okay, this is over the top. It's like beyond emotional. It has in and out like shaky video to add dramatic effect. I'm just not buying this yet. I would need verification of some kind to actually believe this is true. It is my view that this could be some sort of part of some sort of an effort to accelerate the chaos surrounding this story, just to inject more emotion into it. I've seen this countless times over the past couple of years with various major news stories that get people really, really upset. It follows the pattern. Here, let me run this for you. I'm not buying it.
This here's a resident of Springfield, Ohio. Listen to what she has to say.
This shit ain't no joke. It's not funny. I really do not feel fucking safe here, bro. Like, everyone on TikTok, on Facebook, making these jokes to get everything's fucking funny. Like, imagine you being homeless for a whole fucking year for no fucking reason. Like, what the fuck? This shit is not fun. This shit is not cool, bro. They really out here decapitating animals and y'all are making jokes out of it. Imagine if you went outside and you saw your dog's head decapitated on the fucking ground. Like, are you, why are y'all thinking this shit's a joke? It's not a joke. I don't feel comfortable walking anywhere. Like, what the fuck? I should be able to feel safe in my own city. Everybody's fucking homeless out here. Ain't shit but fucking scary ass Haitians just lurking and creeping and shit. Y'all thinking this shit's motherfucking funny? I keep making this shit up. It's not made up, bro. This shit is real life. This shit is really affecting me. Like, what the fuck?
So people are making fun of Trump for saying what he said, but I mean, if you think about it, this here is a person in Springfield, Ohio, breaking down in front of your eyes, saying her reality, or telling us what the reality is where she lives in Springfield, Ohio. Again, I personally have not seen videos of them decapitating any type of animals, but that doesn't mean it's not happening.
Whatever, man. Okay, so that's a woman. She's hysterical, Joseph, on this video, and she is like, they're decapitating the animals. Don't feel safe anywhere that I go. And the Haitians are out there. They're lurking and they're creeping and they're everywhere. And it's just, I don't feel safe in my community. It's just, it's affecting me in my mind, man. And it's like, and she's like losing it. And I'm like, so I don't know. Like, no freaking way. Prove it. Show me. Like, come on. Like, it's just too much. Not buying it.
I saw the video because I have you on Rumble, your Rumble channel, but there is a delay. And of course, I didn't have on the sound because I didn't want to create a feedback loop over the phone.
Yeah.
But I did see her. I agree. She looked, I didn't hear it, but she looked hysterical. And you're right. I have said it many times on my show and in my writings. There are emotionally hysterical snowflakes on both the left and the right. And like you said, yes, they want emotion. They don't want people thinking. And again, the longer they can drag out this story, the less talk of Kamala Unomics is discussed. The destruction that this commie bleep would rain upon this nation. So yes, they want it emotional, not on policy.
Mm-hmm. It's just, yeah. That was so flippin' ridiculous. I mean, and so freaking stupid. I'm sorry no, I'm not buying that at all. I want to know, before I will accept that as being sincere and truthful, I want to know who she is. I want some evidence. I want something to back that up, not just a video of some hysterical woman freaking out. But you know what? Gazillions of people have seen that and they're just accepting it and believing it. That's not truth. that whatever that is, that ain't it. That ain't truth. But anyway.
I agree with you that that could be fabricated, dreamt up. You're right. I didn't hear it. So again, she did look hysterical, and I agree. We need to know her name. Is she in that town? If it's related to that, what all does she have? But you said you want evidence. So let me put it to you this way.
Sure.
You showed the video of the woman, right, over the dead cat.
Yeah.
And the police asking her, did you eat the cat? Did you kill the cat? She didn't. But witnesses said she did. So let me say this to you. Right, somebody might think I'm an alien, right? I'm a human. I have to, and this will be a little weird, so please bear with me here. But because you do not have a picture, a video, or an audio showing me peeing in my bathroom, does not mean or disqualify the fact that I am indeed a human who does indeed have to take a leak from time to time. See what I'm saying? You're trying to prove a negative here.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you go because what we're going to do now is I'm going to run some clips from a Springfield, Ohio city council or city commission meeting from earlier this week, where residents went there and were given the opportunity to express their concerns about these issues surrounding immigration. So I thought that's where we can get, more credible testimonies from people, right?
Because people are at a council meeting.
Yeah.
You generally have to stand up and say, I'm so-and-so, I live at whatever. They black that out.
And they have to register in advance so they know who's going to be speaking. There are rules. They know who these people are. So these are verifiable residents. We know that they're actual residents there. And so this has a lot more credibility to it than what I just ran, which I'm just not buying. But Joseph, thank you.
But if they say something that doesn't fit the preferred narrative, they will be called crazy, a loon, a liar. Right?
Well, not necessarily. No, I don't think so.
But again,
when
not all of the witnesses can be crazy and making things up.
I think we'll yeah. So I did preview a few of these clips, and some people, you'll see that some people have real concerns about the immigration problem, and the counselors did not, from what I've seen so far, and some of this we will watch for the first time together, but I didn't see the counselors coming down on people and telling them they're crazy because they have concerns. So, but I'll run these clips and people can assess for themselves what they think is really going on the ground there in Springfield, Ohio. So, yeah.
No, I'm not saying that the council members will outright say that. I'm saying the leftist media will say that.
Yeah, yeah. So.
Because that then bolsters their narrative. All these Trump people are crazy, loon, conspiracy nuts. They still think the Hunter Biden laptop is real because if they keep throwing that dumb narrative out, a lot of morons still think the Hunter Biden laptop was a Russian center-based information. They are clueless and they can sell it.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate you taking the time to chat again tonight.
Yep, no problem, brother. Feel free to call again. Talk to you later.
All right, you bet. Take care. Okay, Joseph Leonard, contributor to the program, and he has been looking into this over the past week. So thank you, Joseph, again for helping us out tonight. We'll take a quick break. We're going to come back. I'm going to run you a few of those clips to give you a taste of what the people who live there had to say about this week. It should give you a better perspective, I think.
Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, so yeah, I think this is really worthwhile because I just think this puts us on a more solid footing in terms of getting firsthand accounts and testimony from people who live in Springfield, Ohio. This is a community meeting, town commission, city hall meeting, basically. And residents were given the opportunity to speak their mind on the immigration issue. Let's start with this gentleman.
Thanks, sir. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I just came to talk about the immigration influx that we're having. A lot of people are thinking that there's hate against them, you know, that we're racist for feeling a certain way. Like a lot of people, this is the influx here has been a culture shock, you know, to say the least. And I feel like our city is basically being treated like a flop house. I don't know if you know what that is, but that's like a house you can go to and just hang out. All right. Is there a cutoff point that, I mean, for the population here? Or, I mean, I feel like there should be a no vacancy sign right now. And people are still coming in. I mean, what's the cutoff point? Is there going to be 60,000 immigrants living here? Are they going to take over our whole city? I don't think they're going to do that. It's getting close to, people are getting really fed up. And things are going to get ugly. I don't know if you want to see that happen. I mean, because if you do,
sir, I understand what you're saying, and I hate to do this, but saying things are going to get ugly is just slightly threatening.
That's the
and
truth.
I hear you,
truth.
but I'm going to have to ask you to just step aside. For the same reason, in the last meeting, we had a gentleman that
see, whenever somebody says something you don't like, then you.
It's not that there's no comments in the ice. It's not that I'm completely disagreeing. I empathize with what you're saying. I want you to say, so I'm just good. Let me just warn you right now. Please don't say things are going to get ugly or get worse or anything like that. What I'm saying is that sounds threatening to me, and I'm going to have to cut you off. So if you could continue on commenting on some of your concerns, that's fine. Okay? I'm just trying to give you some understanding of why I even interrupted you. Thank you. You can go ahead.
I'm very frustrated.
I understand.
And a whole bunch of people, along with the citizens that have born and raised here, a lot of people that are born here stay here. They don't go anywhere. They stay in. I got a lot of friends that have been born and raised here, and we feel like our city's being taken over. I mean, like I said, is there a cutoff point? What's going on here with that? Are you going to just keep on letting them come in, to keep on busting them in every day? Illegal immigrants. Now you say they're legal right now under TPS. All right, but November 5th, if things go the way I think they're going to go, there's going to be a mass deportation. So what do? You're making all these accommodations for a whole bunch of people. What are you going to do when they got to leave? You're spending all this money. You're asking for more money now for immigrants, and our people, our citizens, are living on the streets. They're not being taken care of. If you're going to, while you're asking for more money, include our homeless people. Include our veterans that are on the street, people that fought for this country. This is an invasion. And a lot of people feel like that. I'm not the only one, but I'm man enough to say it.
Thanks for your comments. We'll have some answers for you at comment. Please, no applause. Just to control the temperature of the room, I'm just asking that you do not applause. Thank you so much. We're going to be asked for Dave to come up. Dave Horning. Yes, it's hard to read the card. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Hello, my name is Dave Horning. I'm from Circleville, Ohio, and we have concerns about the homeless situation, which could get worse in our county also. As I've researched this matter, I want to share some information with you that I have learned. There is a federal policy called Housing First. I encourage everybody to go home, Google this, look this up, look it up on Wikipedia. It was a federal policy. It was never passed by the U.S. House or Senate. It was a policy, a bureaucratic policy that was adopted during the George Bush administration that says if there's a homeless person, the first thing you do is give them a house. Now, we just heard the drug court say that if you're in drug court, you have to proceed, you have to behave, and if you don't, there are consequences, you will be removed. Under the Housing First policy, you cannot remove somebody if they are misbehaving. There's a thing you can look up called permanent supportive housing. So if the federal government comes in and says they're going to give you money in the form of permanent supportive housing, what will happen is if a person moves in there and they are using drugs like fentanyl, they will get a disability. That disability will allow them to get disability income.
Okay, let's skip ahead to something just a little more relevant to the specific issue at hand here. I think this man will address the issue.
My name is John Francis, and I live at 15 Inglewood Road. I just wanted to come up tonight and let you all know that many of us share your frustration with everything that's been happening in the city, both with new residents, but especially with those that have been here much longer. I want to thank you all for doing the most basic of things, your jobs, for staying the course and not resorting to the extrajudicial solutions that so many of the city's residents would like to see. Thank you for not restricting my freedom of movement and destroying the local economy with the city limit checkpoints people. Thank you for not bankrupting the city with thousands of civil rights lawsuits that would have surely resulted from the unlawful actions so many people in this room have repeatedly entreated you to take. Thank you for not deputizing a manners squad that, frankly, a lot of the people here would probably run afoul of. Thank you for conducting city business like members of a law-abiding, democratically elected body, and not like some backward Jim Crow mouth breathers with dogs and fire hoses and barely 2 brains. Like every other native-born person in this city, I received a taxpayer-subsidized Western education, which is undoubtedly the greatest handout the government has to offer, which is why I'm blown away by some people's willful ignorance, the most basic knowledge of civics and levels of government. On behalf of everyone who paid attention in 6th grade social studies, I apologize that you are constantly being blamed for the actions of state and federal government by people who were taught better. As a lifelong left-of-center independent living in an increasingly reactionary state, it is truly surreal time to be alive. I'm absolutely blown away by the lines of Republicans and alt-right voters who have spent years voting against government intervention in social matters, but who now turn to government to solve their social issues. Voters who fought against socialist overreaches like rent control and strong tenant rights, but who now suddenly complain that rent is too high. Voters who praise the legitimate virtues of free market capitalism, except when it comes to real estate. My heart goes out to you guys because you'll never be able to win with those people because they don't even seem to know what they want. There isn't much happening here that hasn't played out thousands of other times in every city in the country. I can't name any city of consequence that doesn't have a Chinatown, Koreatown, Little Italy, German Village. But there's also Little Guyana, Little Odessa, Little Yemen. In fact, there are many hundreds of ethnic enclaves in the US. There isn't anything happening here that hasn't happened in every one of those. And they're getting along just fine. Would I have personally chosen Springfield to have a large Haitian enclave? Probably not. Because I'm nothing if not lazy. And learning to live with strangers is challenging. But I'm also smart enough to realize that what I want is irrelevant. Because I live in the United States of America, and in this country, you should not get to pick who moves in next. Our country has a pretty notorious history of doing that, and it should be universally horrifying to any decent member of society. So thank you for not ignorantly repeating the mistakes of the past, and good luck while you chart your way through the same challenges that 1,000 other mayors and 1,000 other city councils navigated before you to the long-term betterment of the cities that serve.
Thank you, John. Messica, please. Messica Darby.
Hello, my name is Masika, and I'm here today to ask the questions that many citizens would like to know. I have watched the interview on Fox News with you and Mr. Heck, and I was asking myself, why now? I can speak for a lot of people in this community when I say that this has been going on for a while now. Our frustrations and concerns continue to fall on deaf ears. This community has been begging for help for some time, and we rely on our city council to be our voice. So we would like to know what policies and programs have been implemented in the last year. And if any, how does each program and policy benefit immigrants and the people in this community? We would also like to know who you have advocated to and what do they say they're going to do for us that would benefit this whole community? And what would those benefits be? Next, we would like to know what your plan is for our homeless. They are living in garages, alleys, abandoned houses, backyards, and pretty much anywhere. Also, we have to discuss the trash, feces, and other unsanitary conditions. We are concerned with winter coming. What are you going to do to protect our homeless citizens? This city cannot allow the homeless to be left out in the cold. That is not who we are, and their safety is very important to us. Do we have a deadline on fixing this situation? In addition, this leads me to question our housing crisis. We see all the new properties being built all over our community. We would like to know how affordable these properties will be, and when will these properties be available to our citizens? I've included several questions from the members of the community, and a few of them are there adults attending the high school alongside our teenagers? If so, what is the legal age limit for them to attend? And could we offer them college classes? Why does it take 2 hours, maybe longer, for our police to respond to 911 calls? And what are we doing about this? Our young people are killing each other. Guns, theft, crime is in its highest. What are you doing about that? Drugs and addiction have been a problem in our city for a long time. Homelessness and lack of police support is only contributing to that crisis. What new plans are you going to implement to combat the increase of drug overdoses and drug-related crime? Car wrecks and increase in car insurance. The increase in car insurance due to the increase of wrecks feels like a punishment to hardworking, insured-paying citizens. What can you do to offset this? This community wants and needs answers. We need to see and feel these actions. We want to be safe. We need to see positive changes. Friends and family are rethinking staying in this community. We need to know that those that we have elected are doing what's best for our residents in Springfield, Ohio.
Thank you for your comments.
So it isn't just about
Yvonne Owens?
pets being eaten or anything, not. It's just about the pressures that
Yvonne
the
Owens?
community is experiencing because of the
Charlie Fensman?
the sudden massive increase in new people coming into the community, Haitian immigrants. Culture shock, pressure on the social welfare system.
My name is Charlie. I'm a fence man. I've been in business over 50 years. I get along with everybody in the community. And my main concern is I believe that everybody should be treated equal. If the Haitians, as everybody wants to talk about, wants to come here and better themselves, it's all well to do. The Haitians ain't the only people that don't know how to drive. You know, so we got to make that
There's been a lot of
that
reports
known.
of
The Haitians,
traffic accidents.
supposedly, quote unquote, ain't the only one that steals. You know, as Martin Luther King said, he had a dream that one day, little white girl and little black boy will be holding hands. That's the dream that I have. I'm 64 and a half years old, and I still haven't seen that dream. And it's really sad that we want to treat people like that. You know, it's been like that. You know, if you're up here, a millionaire, this guy down here, he ain't equal to him. Oh, he's not to his status. But we got to realize everybody is equal and everything takes time. And the Haitians, or whatever you want to call them, they're just here to try to better themselves. And eventually most of them probably learn how to drive, you know. And if you haven't seen them killing no ducks, if you haven't seen them stealing nothing, don't make no accusations, you know, because all that does is start an avalanche. So hopefully sometime soon, this situation, we won't be down here talking about the Haitians aren't wanted here, because as far as I'm concerned, they're just as welcome as the white folks, the black folks, the Mexicans. I'm Indian. They're just as welcome as the Indians. They're all equal to me. We all bleed the same color blood. So that's what we really need to do, Mr. Rue.
Thank you.
You know, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Yeah, you know,
Dana Miller.
But
Woodley?
adequate housing
Miller, what?
in
Okay.
Canada, that's
Okay. Okay.
one of the biggest issues we're facing right now. We just don't have enough
Okay.
housing. We're trying to build more, but it's the government not creating the right environment to get that job done.
Hello. And thank you for this. Thank everybody else for coming and listening. First, I want to start by, there's supposed to be a driving education program, and I really appreciate that. Hopefully it will help. I am a disabled elderly woman that has such high anxiety leaving my house that I rarely do. And when I do, I'm armed and I have my 120-pound pit bull with me. I've been followed. I've been groped. I'm 58 years old. I've been called racist because I'm white. I've lived in the south end of town for my whole entire life. Our family home is there. My children have homes there. Recently, my youngest moved to Montana to get out of here. I had another one move to another town to get out of here. My children are leaving me. I do not blame any of this on any other people than our city managers. The influx has come in so fast, and they haven't been educated on our ways, on our laws. They need to know these things. That's causing so much hate and division. This year, the division in cultures has been as bad as it was in the 60s. I have not seen it this bad since the 60s. And yes, I was there. I don't care to go through it again. I come from a very multicultural family. My grandmother had one that was Cherokee, one that was Blackfoot. I have a Japanese aunt. I have a black daughter-in-law. I come from a very multiracial family, multicultural family. I'm scared. I'm scared for the women here. I'm scared for my granddaughters. The schools are overcrowded. Our education system has went in the trash in the last 10 years anyway. You ask a 16-year-old out on the street, what does independence mean? They don't know. Ask them what year this city was founded. They don't know. Ask them what year this country was founded. They don't know. This influx is making it worse for them. Housing. Housing is another issue. The overcrowding in housing. My son had to give me his house and move to another house because I can't find housing. I went to an apartment complex being built, and I was told that I am not allowed to apply.
Sorry. Ma'am, I thank you for your comments. We've had 3 minutes. We've written several of your statements down, and we're going to look into them for you.
Thank you.
Noel Bales? Noel?
Taco Tuesday. Go on. And now, we get it.
Thank you.
Okay. I did not mean to bring any ill will to my city. Everybody knows at this point who I am, and I'm not really comfortable with that. I try to keep to myself, and that's not what I wanted, was for this to happen. I did not mean to bring any ill will to the city. All right, first and foremost. Secondly, I attended a meeting Wednesday night, and I think it was the West End neighborhood meeting, correct? Miss Hackett was there. And if anybody gets a chance to hit up one of these little small meetings, do it. There was so much energy, and it was so fun. And the grandma type people make the refreshments, so you know you're going to get good food, okay? All right, I know, and I left before I ate a piece of pie, but I'm just saying that there are other things out there that are not this. If you want your voice heard, hit these small meetings. And I would like for you guys, if you would, to put out when and where these places are going to be and who's going to be speaking. Because I know the fireman's going to be speaking next month, so I'll be front and center in the front row. All right, I like firemen. But I'm just saying that I did not mean to bring any ill will. And about the ducks and the cats, I'm the crazy cat lady in my town, and I'm not missing any. Everybody's present and accounted for. And if they were coming up out of our park with geese or ducks, I would be one of the first people to see it. I'm telling you, it's not happening. So stop with all that. That's what I want to say. And thank you, Miss Tackett, because you spoke to me like I had some sense last Wednesday. I've got the courage to stand back up here again today. Thank you. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you so much. Baron? Go ahead, sir.
I'm going to put this in my pocket so people that know me know I didn't come in here with a prepared speech. I influence my conversation, and I'm the only one that influences my conversation. My grandchildren and my children have a lot to do with it. They're the ones who were begging me 10 minutes before I come down here because they see me leaving the house with my bullhorn. I said, I'm just going to go Baron 2.0, and they're like, don't do it. Enough is enough, guys. We have national attention now over alleged people eating cats. I don't know how to say it without saying it with a word that's Rob's going to throw me out for, but bullcocky. I looked on the menu of 3 or 4 restaurants here today, man, I didn't see roasted fluffy nowhere on it. It's nuts. But the good thing is, now we have the nation's attention. What are we going to do with it? What are we going to do with it? Are we going to concentrate on the real issues that we have here? The real issues? There's on the corner right there by Regina Jeffers is a letter that's all written out. All you got to do is fill in the information, send it to the federal government. My question, Mayor, is let's say that works and we get $15 bazillion. What are we going to do with it? Are we going to continue to use it to teach the Haitians our language? To teach them how to drive? We're going to open driving schools, and God knows we need another car wash here. You know, what are we going to do with it? That's my question. That's my serious question to the council tonight. If you get the federal money that you're after, what are you going to do with it? You know, the homeless problem. I don't know of a single homeless Haitian in this town because they all got vouchers. But I can show you a whole bunch of people that have been displaced. Because I'm that guy. Rob, you know, for 25 years, I've worked with the homeless in this community. You know, a lot of people don't know because I'm not the guy out there blowing the horn. Because it ain't about me. It's the Jesus in me that goes out there and does it. Trust me, there's days I'm tired. But I'll get into homeless camps that nobody in a suit and tie will walk into. None. They trust me because I've never let them down. You know, and guys, if you don't think it's here right now, in October, we are getting ready to hit a wall here. There is not any relief for the homeless. The homeless people in this community are not the people you think they are. The squatters that aren't happening. It's not there. There's veterans. Come see me. I'm not real hard to find. Ask anybody on the street. They'll tell you how to get a hold of me. I'll take you there. And no, they don't want your toothpaste and your peanut butter sandwiches. They want you to come up with a solution to why they're displaced. why they lived in a house. I personally know, and I'll testify under oath, my hand to God, somebody that lost their house. They were there 7 years. The landlord said, hey, I need you to move out, find a temporary place. I'm going to remodel it, and then you can come back.
Thank
It was
you,
a
Baron.
lie. They moved them out, tripled the rent.
Thank you.
Follow
Thank you for
the
speaking.
money.
Marjorie?
Yeah, hang on. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and continue our conversation. And if you'd like to call in, this is the number. Okay, Mavericks, it's call-in time. Join the conversation. Call now, 1-519-401-1373. One 519-401-1373. Exercise your right to free speech. That's 1-519-401-1373. That's 1-519-401-1373. Maverick News. Call now. The world is watching and listening to you.
All right, sure.
Okay, so who's on the line with us?
Lee from Indiana.
Great to hear from you, Lee.
Yeah.
What's on your mind?
Well, you're talking about these videos, whether or not this is for real or not. I don't know. I've seen these videos myself. I've seen a few of my InfoWars. It's pretty hard to dispute. There's some guy cooking a cat over an open flame on a stove, and another guy biting a still alive young cat in the neck. I mean, it's hard to believe somebody could be putting this on. I mean, I don't know if it came from Springfield, Ohio, but I mean, this is pretty crazy stuff. And it's like your previous caller said, our border's wide open. There's no controls at all on who's coming in here. It's very possible that people are going to be coming in here with God knows what kind of baggage with them.
Yeah, true enough. I'm going to throw something out that might make everybody think a little bit. I don't know either. The thing about what I'm seeing on social media these days, though, is it has become, because of AI, because of real coordinated information warfare campaigns, it's difficult to know what's real, what isn't. And I'll just put this out there. We have a U.S. presidential election that's ongoing. It's for all the marbles. It's for control of the most powerful nation on earth, a nuclear power. So I don't discount anything either way, because in order to gain control or even just influence the outcome of that election, I think you have a lot of different people out there, organizations, governments, you name it, who will go to extraordinary lengths to manipulate public opinion in various ways. That being said, I mean, I'm right with you. I don't know. Some of the stuff is hard to dispute, but at the same time, I'm looking for verification on some of this stuff. Like that video I just ran earlier of that hysterical woman. That one just, I don't know, doesn't something about it.
Well, I agree with you. It is extraordinary times, but I think it's even bigger than you're saying. This is global. I mean, the same thing's going on in Europe, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. The Western power elite are making a push right now for nothing short of a global government.
And you're right, they will pull out all the stops. Look at what's going on in Britain, where they're locking up people that are just complaining about some of the violence going on with some of the people that have been brought in there. And you got to admit, this has got to be coordinated. They're bringing in people that absolutely nobody in their right mind 50 years ago would allow to immigrate to their countries. And not only that, but they're being set up purposely almost to cause as much friction in these different target countries as possible. And you got to wonder, what is the purpose of this? It's got to be coordinated. Nothing is this chaotic by itself.
Yeah.
I agree with you. This is for all the marbles, but it's bigger than just this country. This is global.
Yeah, I agree with that too. You can see it. You can see the coordination. The thing is, it's hard to tell who's behind it. How, you know, and if it's pretty obvious to me that the main objective is to just create chaos. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't it Klaus Schwab or somebody that said this is going to be a more violent time, this is going to be a more stressful time? I mean, these guys are either Nostradamus or they know what they're actually putting in place here. I think what they're doing, if I had to believe what I'm seeing, and it's not just Springfield, Ohio thing, it's a lot more than that. To see everything that's gone on between the COVID lockdowns and the heavy-handedness used in that, it's got to be that they're orchestrating this, and then you got to say, well, why are they doing this? It's almost as if they're going to create enough chaos to get people to beg for a police state. You know, that's the only thing that makes any sense to me, anyway.
Yeah, well, it's my position here that we're doing far too much navel gazing. We're looking inward at everything, and this psyop is designed to do that. No question, our government is responding and doing things that results in government overreach, and they violate our rights, and we do see these things happening. But I think that there are outside forces as well, whether you're looking at China or Iran or Russia, and I think we'd have to be very naive to think that these other governments are not also involved in influencing what is going on here. There are many different parties involved in this, and that's what also makes it confusing. It's hard to figure it out because you have multiple influences all at once.
I tend to agree with Glenn Beck when he talks about it basically comes out of battle of East and West. It's their global new world order versus the West global new world order.
Yes, I think that's very accurate.
That's what the battle is over. You're right. I don't put any more stock in what Russia or China or Iran does than I do with Western Europe.
Yeah.
But it is. I think a battle. They know they've got the AI now. They know they've got the science now to actually go for global domination, and they want hegemony, both East and West. And I think the battle is between the two poles. I think that's what's going on. The problem is that they talk about navel gazing. I think the whole idea, if we concentrate just on this election and the campaign that's going on, and that's navel gazing. You got to look at the big picture, and you can wrap the whole last 10 years of history in this world into this thing, going all the way back to even before COVID. And this cannot be happenstance. It just can't.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you're accurate. Yes. So
I don't know what we do about it. Pray to God, I guess, because it doesn't seem anything else short of that's going to make a difference here.
I think the first thing everybody needs to do is understand exactly what you and I have been talking about here. Just understand that it is bigger, that it isn't coming from just one side. It's coming from multiple places, and take it upon ourselves as individuals to become more media literate, right? If we understand that this is being done, that's the first step to realizing, you understand or realize that there are these attempts being made to manipulate you. Now you can be on alert and be cautious about what you believe and what you just accept as true. But you need to do it in a meaningful way, in a proper way, so that it's not like what I see people doing is they say, oh, well, I don't believe the mainstream media, so I'm just going to go over here and watch this. And then they accept what somebody is just telling them on the other side. And that's not good enough either, because you have a lot of people who are trying to manipulate you. It isn't just the mainstream media.
Right, and the thing is, I think that the big problem is the deficit of knowledge that's out there with the general public is what's really going on. I've tried to make it a point over the last 5 or 6 years to actually look at everything that's been happening. But I mean, how many people do that? I mean, I talk to people all the time that are clueless. They have somebody. Well, I'm sure you've seen the man on the street thing where people can't even, in our country, name the 3 branches of the government or know who the vice president is.
Yes.
So it's pretty sad. I don't know what you do to enlighten people and bring them up to speed on this, but it's like, you know, it's crazy because we haven't got time for monkeying around here. We're at a precipice here in this world. We got Western civilization and the balancing it, and I don't know what you do about it. It's scary. It really is. I don't know. Like I say, the best thing I could think is just pray. I can't think of anything else that would make any much of a difference at this point.
Education has to start with education. Government needs to do a better job of, teaching civics in school, and I think also instilling a sense of national pride in people. Yeah. It's very easy to lie to someone and get them to believe you when they don't know. If someone doesn't know their history, if they don't know how the system works, you can tell them pretty much anything you want, and they'll say, wow, that guy really knows what he's talking about, and they'll lead you astray.
Right.
So we're in a very dangerous place.
I'm old enough to remember civics and all that kind of thing about, the whole idea of what the Bill of Rights and the Constitution were based on, the idea that the rights of the individual, that government is a servant to those individuals. But like you say, nowadays, they don't, for decades now, I think they've been purposely, it's got to be purposeful. I don't know if you remember Charlotte Isby. She wrote a book years ago called The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. I think she was in the Nixon administration or something like that, but she was Deputy Secretary of Education, and she literally wrote the book on the public school system in the United States and about how almost for the last over a century now it's been used to manipulate people to not educate them.
It's worse than that, because you read George Orwell's 1984, they talk about newspeak. What we're seeing, though, it's way beyond that. It's infiltration of our education systems, our universities, our colleges, all the way down to our elementary schools, where they're rewriting our history.
Well, how many times have you read that, and this goes even way back, that even at the college level and that kind of thing, that the science, in the sciences and everything else, people learn in that educational system to kowtow to the elite, to the powers that be. You can be the smartest PhD in the world or the greatest scientist, but if you don't kowtow to the forces that run the society, you ain't going nowhere. I mean, that goes all the way back to, Copernicus, the people that bucked the system, that actually try to enlighten people, that were actually purposely held back because the powers that be wouldn't let them inform the public. College, the whole college system, yourself, in a lot of the different fields, it's the humanities. I don't care what endeavor you're in, you got to go through the humanities. You got to learn the system, and you got to learn who to suck up to. That's why the Ivy League colleges in the United States are so powerful. It's because it's a social system you have to adhere to.
Well, sir, is there anything else you'd like to add tonight, or think that we might be missing?
No, that's good. I wish I knew what we could do about it. But it's good talking to you. Hopefully we can shed some light on this and give people a look at this thing, because we're critical. This is crunch time. I don't know where we go from here, but God help us. That's all I can say.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it, and I look forward to you calling in again. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, thanks a lot, Rick.
Thank you. Take care.
We'll see you.
All right, let's resume with our with some of the sound bites from this council meeting in Springfield, Ohio.
I'm standing this evening as a human on the behalf of the Haitian community, and the most important, as a resident of Springfield, Ohio.
Miss Marjorie, could you move that microphone right in front of you? Thank you. No, right in front of you, please.
In front of you.
Yeah, thank you so
Can you
much.
hear me
Go right ahead.
now? Did I lose my minutes?
Nope.
Okay, that's okay. I wish that I could paint much a better picture to present to you this evening, but unfortunately the reality is a bit different than any of us would expect as citizens of this city. Briefly, I would like to clarify a few points that has been made, focus on many households, as a public and as well as private debate. It's been said that a lot of the Haitians are here, we're calling them illegal immigrants. If you want to rest your mind, they are not illegal. They all have documents. They all were invited to the U.S. and have paper and documentation. But to say that illegal, this word that's going around freely as a cancer, that is not. So put it aside, take it out your mouth, take it out your vocabulary. It's not true.
Miss Marjorie, if you could speak directly to me, thank you so much.
All right, sorry. Yes, Rob. All right, let it be clear that there's a preconceived notion the Haitians here are illegal, which I addressed that. And many of the Haitians that are here have something that's called TPS, is a temporary protected status they do have here. And many of the Haitians that come here, they come here, not, some of them, I would say 98%, they want to go back home. And it's because there is a crisis at home and they're brought here, they work. And the few that are work that come here, they're so motivated. If you go to the south of Springfield, they've opened businesses. In less than 2 years, they have people that have beauty shops, they have grocery stores, they have retail. So nobody's here only to get a free handout. So I really beg the community here, because I've heard a lot of rumors about they're eating cats, they're doing all this. We have the finest cuisine. If you ever tasted Haitian food, to disgrace us, to even, we don't even eat hot dog and hamburger or stuff like that. We season our food well and we take pleasure in that. So I know there is an abundance. There's a lot of Haitians that are coming. Even me, myself, I'm Haitian, but I'm American, but my heritage is Haitian. And I understand it is overwhelming. But however, with the hate, it's not going to make it better. Even we could criticize their driving.
Miss Marjorie.
Sorry.
That's right.
All right, Bob. We could criticize their driving. It's because we don't know. We've traveled to Europe and they have a different standard for driving as well. So there is nowhere when you enter a country, before they give you a license or you have your license, there's not a class that you take. So all of this that you're feeling that this is what's hindering or this is what's causing the problem because of their driving, we have people. If you see Ferncliff, it's been hit several times. That wasn't hit by a Haitian. So there is a lot of traffic accidents. Just to be patient with the people. I'm sorry, I ran out of time.
You got a couple more seconds.
I got close. Well, only thing I want to do is that Springfield, we moved to Springfield after 9/11 because this city was unique. They had so much love and of course differences. I remember moving here, we were the only Black in the neighborhood in Northridge and my children had a challenge. But after time, things started to change. And most people, I get it. It's not easy to get change. And now I see there's a multicultural. It is nothing wrong with change. So to blame the Haitians, a lot of them, there's good and bad in everyone. But everybody who came here to represent the Haitian community, not one of them are on welfare. They have their own money and they want to invest in Springfield.
Thank you for your comments. Melissa Skinner.
Tonight, I want to say the last meeting was a start. I feel like some of these concerns should have been addressed a year ago, but you have to start somewhere. I've noticed that our homeless is a major concern down the end of East Main Street and also Snyder Park. What is going to happen shortly when we do not have something in place for them? I realize some do not want shelter. Cold is coming and this city has to have a plan. Do we have a plan? Next is our juvenile system. You cannot get any help with getting transcripts from cases dismissed, etc., in a timely manner. I would like to know how many we have slapped on the wrist time and time again, and then because they have not been properly rehabilitated, as they say in that system, become adult criminals. When you are sent to the victim's advocate for help after weeks and weeks, you're still waiting on a phone call. I believe when voting comes, we need a new judge. I can tell you years ago when I was in school, and I'm only 52, we did not need resource officers in all of our schools. You got to go to juvenile detention for fighting when you were in school, and the judges at the time didn't care, and the consequences were set in place. We need to do better for our children so they grow up to be productive adults. Next is the police statistics that are being published on the city page. I would like to see a better breakdown if possible, and possibly every 2 weeks hear someone saying what has been done to help make our streets safer. Lastly, I ask this commission on the oath to protect and serve us, the people, to please do so and to please start now. Even if you have to push back to get Springfield safe at a level that all entities can run, not overwhelmed, is what we need. I am sure that they are not going to come lock us all up from higher up. And we need to stand together to bring the city we have all grown up in and have invested in. We can be stronger together, but we need a safe city, and many citizens do not feel safe after being here for many years.
Thank you. Dicey Jones?
Start.
Go right ahead.
Jossie Jones. Who am I? I'm just a black, white, Italian, Indian cat that's from Springfield, Ohio.
If you could address me, sir.
Not a
Thank you so
racist
much.
bone in my body, Mr. Rue.
Thank you so much.
With that being said, I'm here on behalf of human beings, okay, of the Springfield city of Springfield, Ohio. I'm a little nervous. I usually have no fears of public speaking, but today I had a lot of eyeballs that I've had some intriguing conversations with, to say the least. 5 years ago, in the middle of COVID, I took the old Shamrock Bowling Alley. You guys probably heard about the Shamrock Bowling Alley, dilapidated piece of crap that was just falling apart, rotting away. I took that and I turned it into a rec center by myself. No outside funding, no banks, none of that. Just being by myself. Totally all in. We got a nonprofit boxing gym. I've been coming to the city for help for a long time, Brian. You know that. It's another can of worms. We need help. The kids need help. When I asked the city where's the youth initiative on the city agenda for the what's it called? The yearly what's it called?
Annual retreat or budget?
Action plan that goes to the federal government that requires you be on the action plan to get federal funding. You have to be on the action plan. We've tried to get on there numerous occasions, failed terribly, miserably. No help for the kids. No youth-based initiatives. We need a new recreation center for the kids of Springfield, Ohio. We need the new boxing gym created. The land bank has so much land that they can dedicate us for we can get a new center built. I'm done on that point. Now we're going to move on to the the influx of the Haitians. You know, the bad part about this whole situation is stop the influx of Springfield page on Facebook. Somebody needs to get it taken care of and get it taken down. It's a bunch of rhetoric that cannot convince smart people that Haitians are bad people, okay? The Haitians that I know, these Haitians right here in this middle row, my people that I've known for 4 years going on, they're beautiful, wonderful people. They're engineers, electrical. They're highly educated people that own businesses. I've never seen a Haitian crackhead. I've never seen a Haitian bum in front of Kroger's on East Main asking me for change. I've never seen a Haitian zombie high on dope, fentanyl, heroin. Never. You won't see it. Why? They don't even smoke cigarettes. Let's get real, people. The people that's on that page complaining and moaning about the Haitians are poor people that are miserable and tired of being poor. They need to get up off their ass and do something. Go to work. If you're tired of sitting in the welfare line and it takes an hour, get off welfare. Okay? If you're tired of being disabled, if you're a disabled body and you get Social Security, I pray you your best. I hope you get healthy and fully recover. You know, stop being stupid. Stop being ignorant, okay? We're Springfield, Ohio. I'm born and raised. I moved away for 15 years. I came back home. I'm talking fast because I know I only got 3 minutes. I'm trying to get a point across. Springfield needs help. We got to start with the kids, damn it. If you don't start with the kids, you're going to end up 10 years from now. It's going to be chaos, total anarchy. Nobody's going to listen to the government. And I got one more thing to say. Brian Heck, how do you make $187,000 and Mike DeWine only makes $168,000? I want that question answered, first and foremost. Okay, we're a small town. Barely a city, okay? We got 50 to 60-some thousand people, okay? How do you make that much money, sir? Cleveland's city manager doesn't make that much.
We'll have answers for you.
I'm out, baby.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. We'll have answers for you. Mandy Heaton. Thanks. Thank you.
Hey, hold on, one more thing.
No, please. Please.
Everybody in here is an immigrant.
Okay. Thank you. Sir, you can go ahead and leave. Thank you.
You go ahead and leave. Bye.
Only because you own a boxing gym. Go ahead.
Everyone is talking about the death of ducks and cats in this town, but I'd like to talk about the death of one very special person, my mother-in-law, Kathy Heaton. On December 1st, I received a phone call that changed my life forever. She was collecting her trash can from her driveway when a car struck and killed her instantly. A task she had done over 2,000 times, spanning 4 decades in Springfield. That morning, though, a Haitian immigrant was allegedly driving recklessly when he struck and killed her. I say allegedly because to this day, there's been no punishment, not even for the expired tags on the vehicle he was driving. Months before she was killed, I began noticing the reckless driving and complete disregard for our driving laws by some members of the Haitian community. It made me angry. But now my anger has turned to fear for the safety of my family and the citizens of Springfield. I'd been to Haiti 14 years ago. My husband and I went, and it was my first time in a third world country. I sobbed when I saw the poverty living there, and I have great empathy and compassion for them, longing for a safe place to call home. But 14 years later, I'm living in fear in my own city. It's not safe. I am paralyzed with anxiety when I'm getting my children out of the car in any parking lot, walking on any sidewalk, and driving on any road in this town. I'm haunted by the faces I saw when I had to bear the news to my children and husband that she was dead. Their grandmother, the very person who tucked my 7-year-old twins into bed just 6 hours before on her 71st birthday, was never coming back. What everyone has feared is my reality, and it's my grief, and it should be yours as well. It saddens me greatly to think about leaving a place I've made a home, raised my children, became an active member of this community by providing medical care to the underprivileged and underserved, volunteering, serving on boards, and cheering for the success of the city. But just as the Haitians were seeking a safe place to call home, I now have found myself in that same situation, wanting to abandon this city and all my efforts above and search for a safe place to raise my family. We need to change the laws for immigrants wanting to obtain a driver's license in Ohio. Those coming from countries such as Haiti, in which roads are generally unmarked and signs indicating direction of travel seldom exist. Giving these immigrants a driver's license without a proper and extensive driver's education and training is a matter of public safety, and it's a disservice to the immigrants. How can we expect them to come here from a country that doesn't have the same laws and rules and expect them to comply with ours? It is unsafe, unjust, and it needs to change. No one is more motivated than a grieving mother. This is for our children, our loved ones, and the immigrants. My questions are, can you please connect me with lawmakers who can assist me in pursuing this matter of public safety? And what is being done about driver's educations for the immigrants in Springfield?
Thank you. Chris Heaton.
If there wasn't an issue, we wouldn't be having
as you
this
may
meeting.
recognize, the previous speaker, Mandy Heaton, I am her husband. The woman she spoke of, Kathy Heaton, was my mother. I will be honest in telling you that I do not have the strength to speak about the tragedy endured by the senseless killing of my mother, and I am not here for sympathy. There is nothing that will offset the heartbreak of knowing my mother died after tucking my children into bed, us singing her happy birthday that evening, or the sight of her walking out of my house unaware that'd be the last time we would speak. What I am here for is solution. We are blessed every day to live in a country of freedom and opportunity, a land that welcomes, a land that is for the people and by the people. However, the influx of the immigrants who have made our city, state, and country home have been given a lose-lose situation. They have not been acclimated to the laws, the rights, the responsibilities associated with being an American citizen, an Ohioan or a resident of Springfield, especially when it comes to the rules and regulations of operating a motor vehicle. While I appreciate the efforts that the Ohio State Patrol and the governor has announced today, we have seen countless incidents in our area of vehicle crashes involving, unfortunately, people of Haitian descent. We've heard of incidents of alleged cheating happening in the BMV offices. We've learned that about the lack of driving rules and regulations within the country of Haiti. Every one of these factors makes the integration of the Haitian people into our community unfair to them and unfair to us. But what we have not heard about is how to fix it. I am here tonight to speak on what we intend to gain support of, known as Kathy's Law. This law will be applied to all, regardless of background, Russian, Swedish, Haitian, doesn't matter, to establish regulations for any immigrant wanting to obtain their driver's license in our state, and hopefully other states take notice and apply it nationwide. We will push to enforce the same restrictions that my 7-year-old twins who lost their grandmother that night will have to follow when they seek to obtain a license, just like anyone else, regardless of age in this state. This includes required driver's ed classes, driving with other licensed drivers, and a computer-based translated test for them to take. This issue is not a Republican or Democratic issue. This is an American issue. This is an Ohio issue, and this is a Springfield issue. We, the people, have the ability to change the rules and regulations we have to follow. We, the people, have the ability to ensure our streets are safe. We, the people, have the power to make our voices heard and action to be done. And we, the people, can ensure everyone in this country is treated fairly. So what I ask for you all tonight is give us a voice. Let democracy work. Do what is best for all people. Support our cause to ensure driving regulations are equally enforced, because we will not rest until justice is served for Kathy.
Thank you. Darlene Yealy. Darlene Yealy.
Okay, is that good? Okay, I have to say I really admire Judge Carey. That was fascinating and such an advancement for our town. And along with some of the speakers tonight, I'm going to go with my subject, which when tragedies are caused by young people, everyone says, how did this happen? Why didn't somebody do anything? I think the best solution is to help the child before life experiences and environments warp them or him or her into becoming the monster that would go into schools and churches to murder innocent people or shoot at presidents. I know Springfield is trying to deal with the surge of Haitians into our community. But Matthew 23:23 says, these ought to have done and not to leave the other undone. The influx has to be dealt with, but we can't neglect the need to support our youth today so they will have the tools to handle tomorrow. In response to Councilwoman Crystal Brown, I appreciate her input. I looked up the Dome. It's a wonderful program, but it's a college and career readiness hub. I'm talking about help for the kids struggling to survive, the ones that are looking affordable outlets for their frustration, their fear, their abuse, their hopelessness, and hormonal explosions. Kids 13 to 18 that need a place to sleep and a clean bed in emergency situations, a place to shower with toiletries, a washer and dryer for their clothes, a place where they don't have to worry about being bullied or belittled or abused, counseling support, self-improvement, self-confidence classes, information, advice, a place for fun and exercise, all under the same roof for the hours that they were needed. I use the United Senior Services as a model. It's a drop-in building that offers 30 programs and services to fill the needs of 55 years and older for $15 a year. 13 to 18-year-olds need these things geared to their needs and desires. If we can do this as a community for our seniors, why can't we provide this for our youth? What we're offering at the present time is not working. I think we need a round table with a policeman, a school nurse, a teacher, a parent, 3 students, juvenile judge to brainstorm to get the needs of our youth met, their mental, physical, and psychological needs. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Felix.
Thank you so much, Commissioners. I speak on behalf of the Haitian community. I have so many of them here. Briefly, I would like to clarify a few points that have been the main focus of many households as well as public debates for the past few months. Among all the local ethnic groups, the Haitian community has been the center of attention, not because Haiti is known to be the first free black republic, nor its good cuisine or wonderful ocean, but simply because some people choose to express their opinions towards the Haitian community in a despiteful, hateful, and vicious manner without taking the time to understand us as one of the most resilient people who have been through very difficult moments in our lifetime, yet still standing strong and look at the world in the eyes with dignity and pride. Let's be clear, there is a preconceived notion that all the Haitians here in Springfield are illegal immigrants, which is false. Some of us are Haitian American citizens who can vote. We are green card holders, and some of us are here via federal program that allows us to have a social security card, employment authorization that allows us to temporarily stay in the country. This program is better known as TPS, just like the Ukraine, the Cuban, Venezuelan, and Nicaraguan. We clearly understand that there is a huge misunderstanding about legal and illegal immigrants. When a Haitian citizen comes to USA by the way of program, does it mean that the person is illegal? Same thing for all other ethnic groups mentioned above. Some say that Haitians come here to steal jobs and public assistance from other communities, which is false. We are here as some hardworking person. Despite the bad weathers, cold temperatures that we are not used to, and snowy days, we still get up early in the morning and get to work. We courageously do the dirty jobs that most typical Americans would not do and never think about quitting because it's our duty to contribute in the city's financial growth with our tax dollars. Some say to stop the Haitian influx because we are responsible for the rising cost of housing. I don't know how true is that. We are here as homeowners and businessmen and women and investors.
Thank you for your comments. I appreciate it.
Thank you
so much.
I'll be back. Thank you so much.
Brad Solis? Colin Barclay?
If you want the prices for housing to go down, you need to build more houses, and that means creating an opportunity or an environment where you attract investment in real estate
Good evening.
development.
My name is Colin Barclay. I want to start out by thanking the commission for allowing me to speak here. I also want to say thank you to the commission for your tireless effort in coming up with solutions and for your work with our state officials to come up with solutions just announced today. And I hope you feel that you are truly appreciated. I do ask an important favor here that our commission and our citizens remember and hold true to verifiable facts when making comments before the city and its commission and on public forums / social media in general. 8 years ago, I completely bought into this notion of fake news, the idea of holding media conglomerates and people to higher standard of fact-based, unbiased news. Who wouldn't want to buy into that? Since that time, I have observed that some of the notion's biggest proponents have had no issues with creating and spreading false information, the very thing that so many were and are still against to this day. This poor public forum and some of the public comments have become the proverbial drunk uncle at Thanksgiving. The continued false information has hurt this community, its community members, our newest neighbors. Fake news has tarnished the reputations of some of our community leaders. Fake news has enabled the Nazi sympathizer group to march on our streets. Fake news has allowed the leader of said group to come into this very meeting and feel comfortable enough to speak. Fake news has made members of this community feel comfortable enough sending threats to personal friends of mine, like a Carl Ruby, for example, all because he asked you to be nice to your neighbors, to be welcoming to a new community member. But fake news has told people differently, and now he's receiving threats. And I want to make clear, I do not speak for Carl. I'm just reporting on what I've observed. Finally, fake news has put Springfield in the national spotlight, as some have already said, on a bullcrap story. I've always been told that you can be part of the solution or part of the problem. Fake news, I can promise you, on Facebook or what you hear from your uncle's cousin's sister's second cousin removed, is not a solution. My wife texted me during all of this, and there's some comments going on currently on Facebook that are absolutely abhorrent. And while I speak to the commission, I hope that those commenters hear this. Come with verifiable facts and make sure that when you spread news, you're speaking accurately on it and showing love to everyone in this community.
Thank you. D. Lewis?
Stoic teacher was saying we would be horrified.
I wasn't
at what
going to
our
speak,
kids
but
are being taught these days in the schools.
the parents of the little
Stoic
boy
teacher
that
would know.
died, they broke me down. They said,
She's
stop the
teaching.
hate, and that's what we need to do. This city's going backwards, not forward. My mother's an immigrant. I love the diversity. We got to learn. They're not going nowhere. I mean, when have you ever told immigrants to get away, leave? It's not going to happen. So we've got to move forward and stop the negativity. The commissioners are trying, and you got to let them do what they do. But the JD, whatever, Vance, reminded me of COVID and the Asians. They started the rumors on the Asians. They beat them down because of the rumors. You got to stop. It's ugly. And is everybody registered to vote? Because if not, come and see me. I have absentee ballots. Make sure your registration is still valid because some of them are coming up invalid. So you need to check your registration.
Thank you. Okay, staff members, that ends our comments. We're going to answer some questions that we can. I know you've been taking notes, so go right ahead.
Yes. Let me get back up to the top of my list of all the questions.
So we're going to do our best to answer. There's a lot of questions. I wrote a lot of notes on the back of the.
Okay, I'm going to pull out of that for a moment. We have the parents of the child that died after being in that traffic collision involving a Haitian driver. Up after this, so, and this is the one that has made international headlines as well. So stay with me. We'll get to that on the other side of this.
He's a fighter. He's a survivor. President Trump, defiant, strong. He is determined to make America great again. Pay tribute to the 45th President of the United States with this collectible t-shirt from the Maverick News Memorable Moments collection. Even a would-be assassin's bullet could not stop him. Instead, he emerged with his fist in the air ready to fight. For freedom. Get your Trump Fighting for Freedom t-shirt with any donation of $30 or more to Maverick News. There are 2 iconic artistic designs to choose from. But there is only one way to get these. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Support free speech. Free media. Support Maverick News. Call 1-866-248-1490. or order online at supergeeks.tv.
Okay, you can call in too at 1519-401-1373 if you would like to join the conversation tonight. What we have for you now is the parents of Aiden Clark, the 11-year-old who was killed in a bus crash last year. They spoke to the commission in Springfield. This is Nathan Clark speaking to the commission. And I'm just going to let him speak for himself. Here we go.
Thank you, Nathan. You have 3 minutes.
We felt it would be in our best interest to be here after recent comments. You know, I wish that my son, Aiden Clark, was killed by a 60-year-old white man. I bet you never thought anyone would ever say something so blunt. But if that guy killed my 11-year-old son, the incessant group of hate-spewing people would leave us alone. The last thing that we need is to have the worst day of our lives violently and constantly shoved in our faces. But even that's not good enough for them. They take it one step further. They make it seem as though our wonderful Aiden appreciates your hate, that we should follow their hate. And look what you've done to us. We have to get up here and beg them to stop. Using Aiden as a political tool is, to say the least, reprehensible for any political purpose. And speaking of morally bankrupt, politicians, Bernie Moreno, Chip Roy, J.D. Vance, and Donald Trump, they have spoken my son's name and used his death for political gain. This needs to stop now. They can vomit all the hate they want about illegal immigrants, the border crisis, and even untrue claims about fluffy pets being ravaged and eaten by community members. However, they are not allowed, nor have they ever been allowed to mention Aiden Clark from Springfield, Ohio. I will listen to them one more time to hear their apologies. To clear the air, my son, Aiden Clark, was not murdered. He was accidentally killed by an immigrant from Haiti. This tragedy is felt all over this community, the state, and even the nation. But don't spin this towards hate. In order to live like Aiden, you need to accept everyone, choose to shine, make the difference, lead the way, and be the inspiration. What many people in this community and state and nation are doing is the opposite of what you should be doing. Sure, we have our problems here in Springfield and in the U.S., but does Aiden Clark have anything to do with that? Did you know that an 11-year-old boy could be passionate about gardening, that he could haggle for a better price at a yard sale? Did you know that he researched different cultures to better appreciate and understand people that he interacted with? Did you know that one of the worst feelings in the world is to not be able to protect your child? Even worse, we can't even protect his memory when he's gone. Please stop the hate. I said to Aiden that I would try to make a difference in his honor. This is it. Live like Aiden. Thank you.
Tonight, I think that's where we leave it. We'll give Aiden's dad the last word. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the flip side.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.